Hello! I figured we could do a video because of all the comments of people not really knowing what's going on yesterday in that video about what is reconnective healing, like what's going on.
Yep.
Leah said that she went while we were live and everybody was saying, what's going on? What are they doing? So I'm new to this.
Well, what do you think it is?
Just straight up.
Yep.
Exactly what it is. Reconnect. Well, I believe that we're reconnecting my energy field to the energy field of the planet, and I'm kind of feeling like there's something else in there too, because I've heard that you've worded it like you're reconnecting to your higher self.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not really that confident in.
One way you could look at it is, so we have the 7 chakras, we have 7 energy centers. So we're like a 7-cylinder car. Okay. Imagine if you had a 7-cylinder car that only had 2 cylinders working.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody's got 2 cylinders working. And you just think that, okay, yeah, this is the way it is. And what the thing is like, okay, you can think of it like, here's the way I think of it. When we were originally designed, we were a completely different being.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know what I mean? Like when we never were like, why am I here? What's going on? Like we knew we were spiritual beings, and we manifested into this plane to have this physical experience. And something happened, and our genetics, our DNA was unplugged. Personally, I think it was the Anunnaki. I think it was done like 300,000 years ago.
Okay.
And we basically lost this connection with the non-physical aspect of ourselves. So it's like playing a video game, and we're the character in the game, but the real us is playing the game.
Yeah.
And the fucking remote control doesn't work. So we're the character, and we're lost, and we're like, what's going on? I need help. And we can't make sense of our world. And so this process fixes that glitchy connection with the true you, with your oversoul, you could say. You could say higher self, but like I think the higher self is like the middleman between like our oversoul and us.
Oh.
So I personally believe that this time of awakening has been predicted by damn near every indigenous culture around the world.
Yeah.
They all knew that it was this time, and I think that the Earth moved into this section of the galaxy that is filled with this frequency, that is filled with this new radiation. Now, it's not new to the universe, but it's new to us. We haven't been able to access it. And as we moved into this section, and as we start to access it, it starts reconnecting the DNA that was unplugged. So you just start to feel, you start to remember, you start that connection with your higher self becomes clearer and clearer. You start to trust yourself, and you kind of just get out of your way, and life becomes.
Oh, I've been having something very interesting happen here lately, and I don't really know how to put words to it. I'm going to see if I can try to describe this. I will have these memories, but it's so bizarre feeling. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning and you had a dream, and that dream sticks with you all morning.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it feels like that. And it also feels like having a flashback of something like that happened when you were a kid, but like, it wasn't any time in this lifetime,
Yeah.
And there's no real, it's like, I have this vision of seeing life through not my eyes. And I'm trying, I don't know if that is like a past life memory, or if I'm, one of the things that I've been wondering, if I'm tapping into one of the other lifetimes I'm living simultaneously here somewhere.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Really?
Well, 100%. There is no 1,000%, but yeah, totally. And when we first started accessing these frequencies, that information, that channeled information came through. Where there was 50 of that dude's patients, the first person to channel this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it was what you're doing. So 50 of his patients, all as soon as he walked up to them, their eyes rolled back in their head and they started channeling the same 6 phrases. None of them had done that shit before,
Yeah.
and they were freaked out. But one of the phrases was, well, 2 of them are like, what you're doing is reconnecting strands,
Mm-hmm.
which we all know is DNA.
Yeah.
And then what you're doing is reconnecting strings. And that's what I think. I think that we are starting to access the wisdom that we've gained in all of those other lives. But those lives are happening now.
Yeah.
So the veil's getting thinner, and it makes perfect sense that you would start to have memories that didn't occur from this lifetime.
Yeah, and it also kind of feels sort of like deja vu at the same time.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It's wild. It's bizarre. I'll just, and something will trigger it. I'll be riding down the road and I'll like look over at a piece of scenery and I'll be like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Like 100 years ago, or I don't, man, I can't even put words to it.
Well, actually, yesterday when we went out and hung out, I actually had deja vu probably about 50 times.
Really?
Yeah, like it was like, I've already done this. Like we've already done this.
Yeah.
I totally had that.
It is interesting. It does feel very familiar. Like walking around in that town. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I just kept thinking. It just felt like I was watching something that I've already seen happen. It's beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, it is cool, but I don't know. I really feel like it's putting me on a quantum leap in timelines. Like the way that I look at it, your life path. People ask me all the time, "Am I on the right path?" And when people ask me that, it feels kind of like if you could imagine somebody walking up to you saying, "I'm on my way to New York. Am I on the right road?"
Yeah.
It's like there is no right road, wrong road, but there's a general direction.
Yeah.
So, like the path that I'm on, I feel like this is taking me on a different route.
Yeah. Good.
Kind of scary. Maybe that has something to do with, because I was telling him, I've been worrying here lately, which is something that I battled with anxiety really, really bad for years. I mean, I had suicide attempts and alcoholism. But anyway, over the past few years, I've had a good handle on that. A real good handle. Just let it happen. Every time something happens, the universe has a bigger plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then here lately, over the past couple of months, for some reason, my mind is grabbing on to worst case scenarios. And I'll find myself getting nervous. Like, oh my God, what if this happens?
Yeah.
What's going on,
Yeah.
And I wonder if this right here is like breaking me through some...
That shit's going to fall away. It will fall away. Well, that tends to be the byproduct of going through this process. For me, it happened absolutely instantaneously. Like I knew that I was a different person. Everything that I had believed, I owned. You know what I mean? Like I just owned it. And then some people, it takes a little bit longer. But I believe that this is absolutely the most important thing that someone can do for themselves.
So as far as the process, when people are, what is it that's going on?
So you mentioned that it's reconnecting you with the planet's energy field.
Yeah.
So you can think of it like we have our own energy field. The meridian lines of our body, our chakras, the 7 energy centers. So we have our own energy field, and then the Earth has its own energy field, and then the galaxy would have its own energy field, and then the universe would have. So it's like an onion. It's like energy field inside energy field inside energy field. So right now we are submersed in this field. We're all connected. So even though we're only functioning on 2 cylinders, we're still connected. You know what I mean? We're still in this field.
Like a little bit?
Well, we're in it, but like, it's like if all of our centers were firing, we would, when you walked by that tree right there, you would see so much beauty. You would feel that. You would feel connected. Like it's different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so basically, you can think of it like at the edges of your meridian lines. So you got a meridian line that runs down your body. You got one. You know, we have a variety of meridian lines. And at the edges of your body, you can think of it like when we were first designed, we had like antennas. So not only we have our energy, but we were like feeding off of the energy of the next level, like the Earth. And somehow, when our DNA was modified, we became truncated, and our energy like stops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not really, because you're still like in this field, but it's really hard to articulate.
Yeah.
And I don't even really think it's important to act like I don't know. I just don't even think I need to know.
Well, I guess my thing is that much like what I do about explaining like the law of attraction and whatnot, it's something that everybody has heard of, but very few people buy into.
Mm-hmm.
So when I want to explain something, what I want to do is I want to say that one thing that makes something click and makes you start listening.
Mm-hmm.
So what I don't think there is any reason in the world why everybody doesn't know about this.
I know.
There is no reason other than, it's just hocus pocus, woo wah.
Yeah, well, it's so out of the box of what we've been told is possible and what's not possible and who we are. And so, I mean, you know, I would say that 90% of the people just aren't going to be able to get it. Their programming is so thick that they just aren't going to get it. Man, I wish that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong. But I've been doing this for 11 years, man. And
how do we break through that programming, though? You know, how do you say that one thing that makes somebody go, let me think about that.
Yeah. What did I say last night? You asked me, what do I tell people? And I go, I don't tell people what I do.
Oh, with what you do.
And then I said one thing, and you go, I would tell them that. What did I tell you?
Reconnecting, like you said, reconnecting your.
I think I said I'm an antenna for a frequency that is.
Like whatever it was, you said exactly what it is.
Yeah, it was like the best, most concise one sentence.
Yeah.
and so I don't know what that was, but.
I'm just that type. If I did that for a living, and they said, "What do you do?" I would say that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I already tell people that I'm a tarot card reader, and they look at me like I'm an idiot. But you know, but I don't know. That's really cool. That would be really, really neat if the universe put me in a position to be able to have this branch off.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't have a plan. Like I'm not sitting here thinking, I want to try to make this happen.
Yeah.
But there's something that's telling me I wasn't drawn to this by accident.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, my opinion is if you can feel these frequencies, then on some level you made an agreement to anchor this in. And what that means is just like you're there's one thing to like give people sessions, but there's another thing just to anchor it onto the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't even think any is more important than the other.
What about what's happening? And I do this every day. Every day I find some time to lay down and just pull them in and bathe in them, dude. And like I meditate with it. I don't, and I have to close my eyes. Maybe that'll change one day. Like you say, you don't blink. I for some reason I kind of lose the sensation when my eyes are open. But I'll lay back and meditate, and I'll go into a meditative state. and just be
Yeah.
bathing them. What is happening when I'm doing that? Like,
When you're bathing in them?
yeah, when I'm just pulling them in and meditating and just buzzing from head to toe. Is
I mean,
is that like anchoring it?
totally.
Okay.
Totally, dude. Totally. You're actually balancing all your chakras. You're basically giving yourself a healing.
Well, I was wondering too, because I remember.
Here's what I think is important about that is, so we get stuck in these cycles and we say we get depressed or we have this anxiety. Well, when you're in that state, when you're in that frequency of doubt or like worst case scenario, you're only attracting thoughts in your mind that match that. So it builds momentum.
Yeah.
So you have more thoughts, you're attracting.
Yeah.
When you go into that state, go into meditation, or when you start bringing this in, your frequency rises and you start actually accessing different thoughts that'll pop you out of that worst case scenario. You'll think, you know what I mean? Like that happens to me all the time. I'll have a problem that I'm working on or something, and I will just, I mean, they kind of don't turn off for me. So, but when I do allow myself to lose myself and to bathe in them, only positive things happen from that. I've never ever given a session that felt bad. I've never brought these frequencies in for my daily sessions. Like when I do my daily sessions, dude, I feel so fucking good afterwards that I almost feel like I'm doing them for myself in a way.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of envious. That would be awesome to do that for a living. That'd be so cool.
Well, so did you notice the difference? So when you bring the frequencies in, you said sometimes it takes you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So when you participated in those daily sessions, was it faster or did it make a difference?
No, it was faster. Usually I would feel it immediately as soon as I lay down. And it'd be a little bit more intense too. Like it wasn't a slow build up. It went
boom.
Into it. So
because I think that's like it takes me about. You remember that feeling you said when it feels like a giant is like squeezing your hand?
Yeah.
It takes me about a second to reach that.
Damn.
And
it takes me like 10 minutes.
So you know what we should do? I want you to go up to the camera, get real close, and close your eyes. I want to show you what. So when somebody starts when the way you can see if someone's tuning into these frequencies, and this is not for everybody, but this is like 98% of the people, their eyelashes will move. And here, let's show them. So you just get up there.
Pull the camera up.
I'm just gonna like put my hand by your head. So get closer. Get closer. Can you see that? Yeah, get closer.
I feel it.
So that's what happens. That's what I see. So the second I walk up to somebody, that's like that's like the byproduct of, and then there's other registers. But so see, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going like that because I've turned myself into an open I have no doubt. The only thing that would prevent me from giving people, the only thing that can prevent me from doing this to people is me, is having beliefs that say I can't.
Yeah.
And what happened to me was I was getting rid of these limited beliefs for like a decade before I discovered this for myself. So immediately, I just jumped in and owned it. You know what I mean? Like the first time I went into somebody, like my friend, I go, hey dude, just lay down. I need to do something. I need to float my hand. I need to see what's going on. And the second I floated my hands over him, he left his body. And I remember he's like, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing? And I was like, oh my God. I go, what happened? Because I left my body and I'm in a white room and I'm going, what? You know what I mean? Like, and so, so the second that happened, I go, this is real.
Yeah.
This is really happening. So.
Did you feel it when you?
Oh, I always, yeah, I always feel it. It never turns off. From the second I read the book and they turned on, they never go away.
Man, it hits me like this morning. I woke up and I could feel it.
Yeah.
And like,
dude, you're gonna feel it forever. When we're done here today, so now it takes you 10 minutes to get going. Dude, it's gonna take you like 30 seconds. It's gonna take you 5 seconds. And then it'll be like, because you've only been doing it, like, what is it, like 6 weeks?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, 6 months from now, they'll never turn off. And they will be so strong that you will, when you go into that panic mode of like, oh my God, what if this happens or that, it'll stop because you'll know, like, oh my God. You know on the deepest level who you are, and nothing anybody says can make you waver. Like, there's nothing anybody can say that would make me waver in knowing who I am and why I'm here. And there is an ease that comes into your life when you know that. Like, I know the universe has my back.
Yeah.
And you should fucking for sure know
Yeah.
the universe has your back.
Yeah.
Like, that thought of what about, dude, that should last like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I do think that this will help. I mean, like with everything that's going on.
Oh, it definitely will.
With like, she lost her ID, and I've been laying like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, you'll find it. Did you find it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
She hasn't been out looking for it.
Okay, well she'll find it, dude.
So, but yeah, that like was kind of eating at me. I'm like, man, gonna have to rent a car and drive back to Vegas and all this stuff. And then for some reason, I woke up this morning, and I'm like, I don't know how, but everything is perfect.
It is.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I'll be looking back on this
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, that's helping. But I was
just gonna say, people ask, what's happening, and what's going to happen is you start discovering more joy in your life. You get out of your way. Like, people are, and I don't know if this is just me because the way I'm wired, or if it has to do with these frequencies, but I bring none of my past with me. I'm not carrying any baggage from any of the challenges I've experienced in my life. I could go back and I could find shit that, I could carry that shit with me. And it sounds like the people that watch your, well, not the people that watch you, it sounds like 90% of the world.
Yeah.
People are dragging their bag of shit with them, and when actually they're brand new a billion times a second. But you're not going to feel brand new if you're dragging all the fucking baggage from past relationships or from screwed up upbringing, or like, I don't know.
I think what I'm most fascinated about is the DNA part. You did one video that I think the title was what happens when your DNA starts waking up. That's my favorite part about it. That's whenever I'm laying around pulling the frequencies in, that's all I'm thinking about. Like, what's happening to my DNA?
So remember I said, like, you have a 2-cylinder car?
Yeah.
Well, you're getting a 3-cylinder car, and then there'll be a 4-cylinder car. You know what I mean? Like, you really, like, the goal of, in my opinion, is we really want this heart chakra opened up.
Yeah.
And so, because you can talk about 7 cylinders of a car, the 7 chakras, 7 energy centers. So all I know is whenever I give sessions, I see the same color all the time, and it's purple.
Yeah.
That's all I see is purple. So to me, it's like purple is the crown chakra. So, but what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? And I had a session the other day, and I was saying that she's like, "What do you think that means?" And I never say anything in my videos because I'm not like, I don't know. I don't want to. There's no reason to act like I know exactly what that is. Because it's not important. I just want people to be happy. You know what I mean? Like I want people to let go of their programming and their fear and just to move on and jump back on the path. But I think that the Christ consciousness is back, and it's in everyone. And when that Christ consciousness starts opening up, it was like I said yesterday, okay? So for some reason, these frequencies bring out something in me that feels like Christ consciousness. And what I mean is, remember that I was telling you I had a session with someone, and it was clear right off the bat that this person was crazy.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, there's no question. I had a crazy person sitting in my room 7 feet away from me. And then as I was talking to him, I discovered that they had a very traumatic upbringing.
Yeah.
And so I could see how they put walls up and walls up and walls up. So as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking I got an absolute crazy person with me. But the second that session starts, I see nothing. I see this beautiful soul that's had to deal with so much pain. And I knew that this was releasing them from that programming. And I start crying. I didn't tell them I was crying, but as I'm giving them the session, well, actually, they started crying, and then I started crying. But something happened. This frequency is bringing out this Christ consciousness in people. And dude, when that Christ consciousness comes out, you will never fucking hurt anybody. You can only be good to people.
Yeah.
And when you have that in you, then the world has to reflect that back to you.
Yeah.
And you will only meet positive, helpful, loving people. And so that's why I feel like I've been living in the fourth density, because I only meet cool, helpful, smiling, friendly people. Like people aren't fucking mean to me.
That's cool. I mean, man. Well, I don't connect with any of the people really. I mean, I do, when I do my readings, I do an unlisted YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not talking to them. I'm not actually locking in. Mm-hmm. I'm pulling in. I'll start pulling the cards, and I'll just start getting downloads of what's going on, what needs to be said, what's happening. So I'm not pulling them into my life. So I think that's like the only way that I can connect with broken people. Mm-hmm. Is it's like I'm standing outside of a doorway, and they're in there. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that's a very good analogy, but it's like I have 1 foot, not even 1 foot. I just see the doorway to the third dimension.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you have to do it, because if you're constantly engaging one-on-one with broken people, that's going to affect you, bro.
Yeah.
That's why all these psychiatrists and these psychologists take antidepressants, because they hear broken people all day long, and it just breaks them.
I remember one of the last video call readings that I did was with this older lady, and she was struggling with her finances. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing I could say to this lady. She had an excuse. Well, it's too late. Yep. Oh, I'm too old, or oh, that won't work, or and like that. No matter what I said, she had to counter it. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I mean, she paid for like at the time it was like 30 minutes, and it was like the longest 30 minutes of my life. Yeah. You know, like it just felt like times, and I was just, my frequency was getting just totally. My God, man, you know? Totally. So that was one of the reasons why I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I should connect like that.
Well, but you're also going to have tons that I mean, I have those too. In fact, my sessions almost always go over my time, just because usually I enjoy the conversations. But if I have something like that going on, because what I think is like, okay, we're all connected on one level. It's very glitchy, but we're all connected. And then when they see my videos and it resonates with them, we connect on like a different level, deeper level. And then when we actually talk on the phone or through Zoom, that's fine tuning this connection. And when I'm talking to someone that's not getting it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't give the session until we click. So I've talked to people and it's like, I can just feel like, it's like 30 minutes, it's time to do a session. It's like, we're not done yet. Like, I have to click with you. I have to hear, something has to, and I don't even really know how to define that, but I can feel.
I know what you mean.
I can feel when it goes dink, and they're like, okay, dude, we're ready for the session.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I don't even need to do that. And on some level, I don't need to do that, but I think it helps. I think it helps.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
For like, because it also helps them ease into like, okay, what's this guy doing? Like, I do feel like there is some kind of, I have to create some kind of trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I don't create the trust in our conversation or make them feel at ease, then they're gonna have walls up. And you can't override somebody's walls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you got those walls up, dude, and you walled yourself off from being hurt, but then as I say that, I realize that these frequencies have a way to get through the cracks in those walls and to melt those walls. So, I don't know.
I don't know, but if I was ever to want to do anything like this, I would need to break through this wall that I have with people I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the most antisocial person, I swear, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, Leah, man, she never meets a stranger, dude.
Yeah.
I wish I could be like that.
Yeah, totally.
And I
She's
try.
got a wonderful quality of that.
Yeah, and I try to be that way. Like, when somebody tries to start up small talk with me, I'm like, fuck, the universe is telling me, and then I'll do it.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't feel comfortable. I'm thinking if I do this enough, it'll start feeling comfortable.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm like Leah. I can go up to anybody and have any conversation about anything, and it bothers my kids. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't have any problem talking to anybody. But on that note, I love being alone.
Yeah.
I almost would rather be alone
than
around people.
I guess my thing is, I love being alone, but there's something that bothers me whenever like a stranger's talking to me. Now there are little exceptions to this, like 1% of the time, but 99% of the time, I can feel you're full of shit. Like, I can feel the words that are coming out of your mouth are fake and forced. You don't care how my day's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, I just feel like, somebody, hey, how you doing today? My first thought is, you don't give a fuck how I'm doing. You just want me to think you're polite.
Yeah.
Look how polite I am, everybody. Look at me. I'm so polite. And I don't know, that's just me being an asshole.
No, that's not you being an asshole. That's you being a volunteer, and you have that ability to read people. And most people are so consumed with themselves that you're right. Like, like that's, I mean, I can feel that shit too. Like, I can feel the fake small talk. When you're having a conversation with someone and they're looking at you and they're not listening. They're waiting for you to stop talking so they can say something. And you're like, dude, this is like, I gotta go.
So
I don't have anything to say to you.
I feel that with like 99% of the people that I talk to. So that's why.
But see, that's who you're attracted. You're in. That's what you do. Like, to me, there are. How can I put this without offending anybody? I mean, there are layers to remembering how amazing we are, and there's layers to this spiritual awakening, and so, I mean, I don't think I can say this without offending anybody, so I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
But like there's when you go from completely asleep, there are things that start to get your attention to get you pointed in a different direction. So like Ancient Aliens. Remember the show Ancient Aliens?
I love that show.
Yeah. So that is the show that like starts getting people to ask better questions. Like, oh shit, this resonates. And then you can start going deeper with like, you know, channeled information. Everything starts backing it up, and you start getting momentum going. Well, you know, you told me that you attract people that most of the people are just broke up in a relationship.
Yeah.
And they're trying. So I'm attracting a totally different breed. I'm attracting people that are like, they've already popped through the rabbit hole, or they're so far into this spiritual awakening, and like, I don't have to go to somebody and start at the beginning and help them to get like so I don't know. I hope that didn't sound condescending. I'm not trying to be like,
no, I mean, I think most people know. I mean, there is a very, very small portion of my audience that they are just so toxic.
Yeah.
They're addicted to hatred, you know? So I'm not worried about them. I don't give a fuck.
It's so funny because before you came over, my Ray, my oldest, was like, I said, dude, homie is just killing it, like killing it. And she was like, so what does he do? And I go, he reads tarot. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
I say tarot.
Tarot. He reads tarot. And she's like, he reads tarot? And I was like, you know about tarot? And she was like, will you give me a reading? It's just like, I don't know, man. But so I just think it's awesome. I was like, how do you know tarot? Because I've never mentioned that. Like, I don't even know how to pronounce it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always thought it was tarot. But dude, I looked up in the Law of One this morning. I looked up tarot, and I always feel like I'm mispronouncing that. But anyway, I looked it up in the Law of One, and there's 33 times he brings it up. So I'm gonna send you that link.
Yeah,
I think you should just like, I mean, it might be totally irrelevant stuff, but I think that like, I think the Law of One, the raw material, is like what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, so like Abraham Hicks, you know, she's a channel.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to her, great information, very generic, very simple, very, you know what I mean? Like, it'll make you feel good if you're in a bad place. It'll help you get in a more positive headspace and to start loving yourself more. And then there's different channeling. There's like, you know, there's a variety of different information out there. But dude, when you get to that shit, like, that is so like next level as far as intricate and detailed. And so like somebody that's lost, dude, they're not going to read that shit.
Yeah.
That'll backfire. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, that's not good for them. They want to go simple. And so I think the work I do is to describe it. It's complicated, and so I have trouble having an elevator pitch for it to make it super simple and accessible, because I don't know. You know, I'm an antenna for a frequency that is reconnecting our DNA, or like, that's not even something like people go, what?
Well, I wouldn't.
You're an antenna for.
Yeah, I mean, because I wouldn't mind that. I like, if you look at it like it's a set of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are catching the people that are already halfway up.
Yep.
I'm down here with the people that haven't even taken the first step yet.
Yep.
Saying, hey, and it can be draining, dude.
Yep.
It can be draining. Probably on a good day, 5 times a day.
I could not do it, dude.
I have one of my lectures, like either the lecture of how toxic relationships are attracted, or how to attract your actual person. You know, big long 20-30 minute lecture that explains energy, how it behaves, and the frequency you need to be in to align with that person. And oh, dude, it just, I'm like, I'm envious that you don't I just wish I could do that. I wish I could, deal with the people that, I know the law of attraction. I know how this works, but I'm just kind of struggling with this one little thing,
Yeah, that's who I deal with.
Yeah.
That's who
I can't say I've never dealt with people like that. I have had a few people come to me, very few, like a handful, who, I've been manifesting, I manifested this and that, and I'm just missing this one thing, and I'm like, shit, this is it right here.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I just...
Every once in a while, I'll get a session with somebody, and it's usually a dude whose wife said, you have to get a session with Case or we're getting a divorce.
What?
Basically, like something needs to happen, or you have to break out of this thing you're in, and I think this dude can help. So then I'm talking to them, and then I start realizing they don't even believe that their thoughts leave their mind. Like they think if you don't say it out loud, nobody knows. Every fucking thought you've ever had is recorded in this field of consciousness. Everyone. And so, like, those I do find challenging. Like, I'm like, okay, man, like, where am I even going to begin? Like, where do I even begin to do? And I usually start with, like, the placebo effect, because the placebo effect is very, like, acceptable. I don't care who you are. You know about the placebo effect, and you know that the power of your mind to heal yourself. If the doctor says, this is going to heal you, this sugar pill, and you go, oh, he said it's going to heal me, and then you heal. So they understand that. So I usually start with, like, the placebo effect, but sometimes I'll give sessions to dudes like that, and I always remember this one. Like, he's like, what do I do? And I'm like, dude, you just lay down and you close your eyes, and I'm on Zoom, and I go, and I'm going to give you a session. So he's laying down, and like all I see him is like just like this, and I'm like, dude, are you looking at me? Like, what? Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, dude, just shut your eyes, dude. I'm on Zoom. I'm just like trying to I'm just doing my thing, and he kept and I'm like, I don't know, it's just funny. It's just like.
Well, I couldn't imagine saying, like, doing this because I think I have to. I couldn't wrap my mind around that.
What do you mean?
Like, if
yeah.
Somebody's telling me that
it's actually more. Yeah, no, especially parents with their children. The children are going through a really, really tough time, and the kids aren't into this shit at all. They think this is crazy, and the parents are like, no, I want you to have a session with this guy. So, I have to, I really don't talk about anything that's going to happen. I just try to make them feel comfortable, and just not like on a psychiatrist type thing, but I just try to make them feel comfortable. I go, oh, it's all good, man, and just relax and see what happens.
Well, that's about all I can think to say on the subject matter.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
We're going to seal you up, dude.
Yeah, seal me up. All right, well, appreciate y'all for tuning in and listening to us blab. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.
Peace.